Welcome to a video. Haven't made one in a really long time, but I'm here for something very controversial, alright? Am I really the cemetery clone? I wonder. This has been a big issue in the group chat recently, and I'd like to clarify a big amount of things. First off, we're going to say, in my opinion, I absolutely love Cemetery, and so does Brayden. But when it comes to being called a new gen and a Cemetery clone, it gets really annoying. I'd like to talk about this for a couple reasons. And one of those reasons being, compared on one of my fits where I'm wearing New Rocks, some blue rare True Religions, and an Emperor t-shirt, I understand that Cemetery wore that Emperor t-shirt, but I don't think he's ever put on those pair of, very cool blue Trues. I wish I had a picture of them. I would set them. And more logic behind Brayden's, nut-sized brain here. New Rocks. I've been wanting the shoes for a few years. Finally got them. Wear them with all kinds of different fits. But I mostly wear the Haunted Mound fits with them. I wonder why, because the aesthetic and style, the New Rocks fit completely with. You can't really style those. Unless you're an emo, goth, scene, etc. You have an amazing style to absolutely set it up with. But I personally don't have much of an emo, goth, scene style. It's just the Haunted Mound style that I wear the New Rocks in, and it's a big boo-hoo for Brayden, I guess. But, let's see here. I started listening to Cemetery around, I think, just after Butcher House released, I think somewhere between late 8th grade for me and maybe the latest a quarter of the way through freshman year. And according to some people that I've talked to, Colby, and maybe a few others I forget, Brayden has been roughly listening about the same time. But there's one thing I have really indeed had noticed, that Brayden might be lying his fucking ass off about listening to Cemetery back in freshman year. When I came into the group, I've been in the group most of my life, absolutely love it, love them all. But when Brayden, Stanley, Riley, all of them, finally launched into the group, became full-time members, and I showed, Cemetery around. Colby started liking Cemetery, Brayden started liking Cemetery even more. He apparently already liked it, but who knows. He seemed to have a graduate boost in absolutely loving him. He started buying the clothes, listening to music more often, talking about updates constantly, using the Reddit page. Same things I've been doing longer, But apparently I'm the new gen Cemetery clone. But I have some interesting things to show everybody here on this video that I'm making right now. I have some example pictures. I'll also be talking about me, not just Brayden, how he's a Cemetery clone. And here we go. We're going to start. I'm going to open up a file and I'm going to go ahead and start showing some pictures off. I hope you guys are ready. All right, let's go into my files here. And the first picture I'm going to pull out would be here. I lost the folder here. I found it. This picture right here. This picture. I don't have a comparison photo for this, but we're just going to stick this right up here. See these orange pants and this dark phone shirt? Yeah. See, Brayden might not have actually tried to copy this outfit directly, but in my personal opinion, I think he absolutely did. You want to know the reasoning behind this? Brayden has some fake polyester dark throne t-shirt, not a long sleeve in the picture, but you get what I'm saying. He also bought some orange pants when he went to Silverdale with the gang. See, we're gonna grab this photo, we're gonna zoom it up. We're just gonna stretch Cemetery like he does in every photo. Those are some orange pants. That is a dark throne long sleeve. See, I don't know if Brayden meant to copy, but it doesn't really matter. That fit he wore, absolutely almost identical. And, it kind of pisses me off. Let's go in to pull out another photo. We're going to throw this photo in right here, picture of Braden, and I'll compare it with a photo in a bit. This is Braden right here. You know, he shoved some distortion or whatever, sharpness on his photos to make them look cemetery-like in some of the older Fat Cemetery Rainbow Bridge 3 covers. Perfectly reasonable, and its style's absolutely cool as fuck. So we're going to grab this picture, we're going to throw it down here. He's wearing some camo pants. You know what I've also noticed? Cemetery wore a pair of camo pants in a mall that he posted. Very interesting. He also stole these pants from Quinn. Never paid him. Fuck Quinn anyway. See that Haunted Mound shirt? Another issue. Let's talk about his closet after I compare a photo of him real quick. Let's grab this photo right here of Cemetery Gray Man. Notice how they're kind of holding up the same fingers here. 3-3. I mean, no hate towards that. I absolutely love the 3 a.m. gang stuff. And no hate at all towards the 3 a.m. But I've also thrown up 3 a.m. in photos, so it isn't that big of an issue. But when you're going out of your way to constantly bully, harass, and just shit on someone for their outfits all the time, it gets sick when you do the absolute same thing. All right, we're going to keep those photos right there, right where you see them. I'm going to go ahead and pull out another photo, a very interesting photo for you. Oh, taking a little bit to load in. All right, there we go. This photo right here, taken in my room. Very interesting photo, very good photo. I would like you to notice something, though. Herald chain. 3 a.m., sigil beanie, and a ripped-up flannel. The Herald, the 3 a.m., sigil beanie, all fine. It's merchandise, doesn't really matter. I have a Herald chain, I've had 2. I have the beanie, I've done the 3 a.m., fine by me. But there is something I'd absolutely love to compare his thing to. This picture right here. This shirt absolutely reminds me the living hell out of that quote-unquote custom flannel that he made because he wants to make custom clothing. Completely reasonable, but in all honesty, I think he just went out of his way to copy this right here. I'd like to also compare the last photo of Braden that I have. One of the most recent photos he posted. Quote-unquote for him, an experimental outfit. Something he does not normally wear. But you see, very normal. But here's the thing. When I'm thinking experimental, I'm thinking some dusty, white shoes that aren't, branded that Cemetery is worn. He's going completely new is what I'm thinking experimental, And that's completely reasonable. That's awesome. I have an experimental fit that is never going to absolutely look like Cemetery one bit, and it's going to be absolutely another way I can prove my innocence and my fucking point within this group. Okay, you see that? Experimental outfit. BB belt. Okay, let's go ahead and try to experiment more with a different fucking belt, gang. Different belt. Herald chain! How are you going to call this an experimental outfit when you're wearing cemetery shit? Gonna go still out of his way to call me a cemetery clone when I compare him to this picture right here. This picture right here. I compared him to this picture right here, and you know what he did? Crashed the fuck out. He crashed the fuck out. Started yapping about how I'm the biggest cemetery clone of all time. Very fucking interesting. So, that is my comparison right there. I'd also like to talk to you guys about his wardrobe. Wardrobe doesn't consist of anything that isn't Haunted Mound related. He has the sigil beanie, he has the Herald chain, he's got that Haunted Mound long sleeve that he cut to make look like a quote-unquote scarecrow. Again, he poses like a scarecrow in photos that Cemetery exactly did. It's very interesting. He likes to pose in forests and deep, dark shit because he wants to be Cemetery so bad. See, my grandma once told me, maybe he's jealous. And I absolutely, completely agree with her. I'd also like to show you guys a few more things, and then I'm going to talk about myself here. I'd like to talk about his username on Instagram. You see that right there? I want you guys to guess what it sounds like. I'm gonna slide the phone over here for you. I wonder what the fuck that is. Braden Rich? Mound Rich. He completely stole it. Completely! And yet I'm the goddamn cemetery clone. Absolutely amazing. I have one more thing to show you guys. Recent screenshot from a few, like 10, 30 minutes ago. I was talking about making my experimental outfit, and Braden thought I meant I was selling the new rocks. And you know what he said? After I said no, a frowny face. It sounds like he wants to buy the new rocks off my feet. The ones that Cemetery wore. Very interesting. All right, let's move on. We're going to move on and talk about... Whoops, that was an accident, complete accident. I have to pull up my email real quick for it. I'd like to talk about my closet in general. All right, I know I own a lot of Haunted Mound clothing. I really do. I own a lot. I own, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, around 11 or 12 cemetery shirts. I own 3 pairs of Robin jeans, one that's fake, didn't know it was fake at the time, that's a boo-hoo on me. But, shit happens. But here's the thing, I'm a collector. I absolutely love Cemetery. I love his stuff. I love the stuff he wears. I love the music he listens to. I am not copying because I simply, want to be Cemetery so bad in a fucking Cemetery clone. I collect. I'm a collector. I've known good people. I've collected some pretty rare items. I own 3 pairs of True Religion as well. And I have new rocks, as I've said before. I'd also like to talk about my actual closet. The one I wear pretty often other than Cemetery. I'd like to, really talk about it here. And I have to take a screenshot of something because it won't let me copy and paste it. This picture right here is just the bottom of this list right here. So this is what my closet looks like. My rack of clothes. I got South Pole. I got a shirt, jorts, 2 pairs of pants. I got some raw blue pants, some random cheetah pants. I got some Kingmaker pants, an American Eagle jorts, DC shirt and jorts, Lot 29, very fucking rare piece of jeans, some FUBU jeans. I got some Echo United pants and jorts. I got a Hurley vintage shirts, polo. I got 2 of them. I've got Quicksilver shirt, 2 of them. One's a button up and 1 pair of jorts. And now I'd like to compare this to Braden's closet. So let's see. I'll try to remember every single piece of clothing he has. So let's start off with the stuff that isn't Haunted Mound related. Extreme Couture t-shirt, South Pole t-shirt, and a pair of black corduroys. Do you hear that? That's it. That is it. He also has 2 pairs of DCs, black and white ones, but I'm going to leave those to the side because you can't consider those Cemetery clone-like because they're big, chunky shoes to replicate the look of the new rocks. A lot of Haunted Mound fans do it, and I do not blame them because it's a cheaper option than new rocks, But I'd like to talk to you guys about what he has in his closet! As you can see before, he has the ripped-up flannel. Very nice, custom-made, blood all over it. I'd also like to I can't show any of these because I don't have them. I also said before, the Rep Dark Throne t-shirt. He also has a pair of those orange pants I talked about before. He has a pair of Ross Black True Religions, wears them all the time, He has that pair of the camo pants that I talked about earlier. Not really Haunted Mound-like, but you can really consider it that way, the way he wears it. He also has a Rep Haunted Mound blue polo. He also as well has a Death's Wagon sigil beanie, Death's Wagon long sleeve, and the Herald chain. Now, when you imagine his closet, it is 90% Haunted Mound Cemetery stuff. And you look at my closet, I have a good chunk, and I will admit, of Haunted Mound clothing. But as you can see this list right in front of my fucking face, it isn't everything I own. And I really hope you guys take in consideration this video. Very quick video, very basic with Photoshop. But I would like to know your guys' opinion. Am I the Sematary clone or not?